Talking to strangers can actually be really fun, and that's coming from an introvert. Don't get me wrong, when I'm preparing for an event where I know I'm gonna have to talk to strangers, I hate every single second of that. Just the thought of it disgusts me. I'm not trying to do all that. But there have definitely been a few situations in my life where I've enjoyed talking to strangers. I'll be honest though, most of them are in a group setting. I'm usually with my close friends when this happens. It would be super rare for me to be alone and talking to a stranger. I usually would never do such a thing. In these situations, it is most likely that one of my friends just went up to a group of strangers and just started talking to them, and I just got brought along. I got dragged along like one of those kids in a family reunion that just does not want to be there. You can just tell he doesn't want to be there because he's hiding behind his mom in the corner. But as I was saying, I would never be the first person to actually start a conversation with a stranger. That would be very weird of me. When I say weird, I mean out of character of me, because that's not a thing I would do. Actually saying that though, if you just give me a few alcoholic drinks, then I'm a whole different person. You could leave me with any stranger, ideally not like Osama bin Laden or anything, but there's any normal stranger. Wait, what was I even saying? Oh yeah, if you leave me with any stranger for 5 minutes, I'll become his best friend and he'll become mine. This would obviously only last for the next 10 minutes until I snap out of it and I just start questioning everything I'm doing with my life. I'm obviously not the most outgoing person, and I'm sure you know because I called myself an introvert about 5 seconds ago. So these situations don't really happen to me, and I'm obviously not counting situations where I'm at the restaurant and the waitress asks what I want to eat and I just say I want a pizza. That obviously doesn't count. Yes, it is me talking to a stranger, but I'm talking more about a conversation that lasts at least a minute. A minute's not even that long, but you get my point. Also, really quick, if you guys watched my last video, I was yapping, not the Skywars video, but the video before that. My cow died, so here's a little grave. I'm gonna put his ashes, I guess we could call that, in here, and his skin. In that video I said I would make a grave for him, but honestly I did not really know that cow very well, so I'm just gonna call him cow 1, and that's the grave. I was thinking of putting it in the boat where he died, but I kind of just don't want to deal with another cow drowning. I feel like if I let this cow out, then he'll just die. He definitely misses his brother. Look, he's always just staring at the chest, you know, he's not looked away once. I'm sorry bro, yeah, it was my fault that your brother died, but I can't do anything about it now. I'll go find you another brother. I actually just go do that now. If I leave this too long, I know I'm never getting another cow. So as I was saying, these situations don't really occur for me. That word really sounds weird. It sounds like how Mbappe says Lakers. That's so niche. I'm sure most of you don't even get that. If you guys are chronically online, I'm sure you've seen the clip where he just goes Lakers. I'm sorry for the majority of you because you definitely don't get that reference, so just act like I did not say that. Actually, if I'm feeling really feisty and I feel like doing a little bit more editing than I usually do, I'll pop it up right now. Editor Artun, please do not embarrass me right now. Please just put the fucking clip in.
Who's your favorite team?
Lakers.
Who do you think is going to win the NBA Finals next season?
Of course I'm gonna say the Lakers.
The majority of the time these situations happen is usually in an Uber or when I'm just drunk at a club or in a bar or something. I've mentioned alcohol twice within probably the first few minutes of the video. I'm not an alcoholic, I promise guys. To prove that I'm not an alcoholic, it's actually been over 2 months since I've drank, but that's such an alcoholic thing to do. Why am I tracking when I last drank? Just trust me guys, I hate alcohol so much. Trust me. In reality though, I actually don't drink much. I know it might sound like I'm joking and shit. I actually do not drink much. Just believe me on this one. I know none of you are gonna believe me, but just do. And also, there was a cow right next to the house. Last time I went on a whole damn mission, bro. That is just great. It's great to know that I completely wasted my time last video, but it is what it is. Your only job is to not die immediately, okay? Just please survive, at least for this video. Talking about Ubers, I actually took an Uber ride today. Okay. I was gonna speak, but bro is spinning on me and I kinda just have to admire this. Alright buddy, hit them dance moves. I'm joking, fucking follow me fam. We don't have time for all that. So as I was saying, I actually took an Uber ride today because I had to go pick up my friend from the train station because he came to visit me. Well actually no, I walked to the train station with another friend, but on the way back we took an Uber. Pretty much the situation in my life right now is I've got 2 friends in my house. They're not like permanently living here or anything. The friend that we went to go pick up today is just here for the night. And the other friend has just been here for a few days. Please don't go in the boat, don't go in the boat, okay? We can counter this. Great. I'm gonna have to get these guys all the way there unless I just make an underwater cow farm or something. I don't know what the fuck to do here. I honestly could like expand this that way or something and like potentially make a cow farm, but I don't know, that might look a bit goofy. Just a few minutes ago I said I'm just gonna get this done today, but you know what, fuck that, I'm not trying to mess with all that right now. So as I was saying, I have a few friends over and I know I was talking about an Uber, but I'm gonna get into that in a bit. I just thought about something else to talk about when I mentioned them. So pretty much when the first friend came over, I decided that I'm gonna take a few days off YouTube so I could just chill with my friend. I hadn't seen him in a few months and you know, I just thought it would be a great time to catch up with him. On my Discord I sent out a message saying that I'm gonna miss the next few days, and yes, I do have a Discord, so do go join that if you want to, or you know, if that sounds interesting or whatever. But yeah, I pretty much made it official that I was gonna miss a few days. I sent out a Discord message. I even sent a snap to my friends being all emotional and shit. Well, not actually that emotional because missing a few days is really not that deep. But it would have been the first time I missed a day since I started this channel, so it was kind of a big thing. However, I wasn't really deep in that much. I was just like, you know, whatever, it's fine. But when I sent the snap out, I sent it to my 2 friends that know about this YouTube channel. Actually, what is that timing? As I said in the last video, apparently it is good to fish in the rain, and I just started fishing and the rain has come. Oh, and that's a name tag. That's pretty sick. It's almost like the Minecraft gods, Notch or whatever, you know? Hero Brian. Nah, Hero Brian was a villain, I swear. Notch also sold Minecraft, so just Microsoft. Microsoft saw that I was fishing and decided, you know what? Let's bless this man. I think it would be the perfect time to use this fishing rod instead. You know, luck of the sea. It's raining, the vibes are here, why not? So I sent that snap to 2 friends that know about the YouTube channel. Now 4 of my friends know it, but back then it was 2. The other 2 people that I've told are the 2 people that are in my house right now. Well, anyways, one of them physically did not allow me to miss a day. He was telling me how important it is to keep posting. He pretty much just wants the best for me, and I really respect that, and I appreciate him a lot because he's the reason I haven't missed a day yet. He's also the reason why I'm recording this at almost 1 a.m. and I'm gonna edit this tonight and post it tonight. Actually, it's 1 a.m. on the dot. I just checked my phone. I don't know why I'm telling you that is not important at all. But yeah, thanks to that guy, man. But yeah, for all of you that love watching every single video, go thank that guy in the comments right now. I'm not gonna say his actual name because that would be weird, so let's think of something here. Nah, I genuinely just sat there for like 30 seconds and I couldn't think of anything funny, so just say thanks to that guy. Call him whatever you want. Honestly, just say anything. Obviously nothing too inappropriate, but call him anything, but just thank him. Or don't. I doubt many people were there like, fuck man, Artun's not gonna post a video today. Well, I don't know, maybe there were some people, and I appreciate you guys if there were any like that, but I doubt the majority of you are like that. The reason that last sentence sounded a bit weird was because I was choking on fucking nothing, bro. I was just choking on air. I just tried to get that sentence out while I was potentially about to die, bro. We're also like a few minutes into this video without me actually getting into this topic, so let me do that. I'm also such a dumbass. I never pressed right click. I was just standing there with my fishing rod. Fucking hell, bro. What am I doing? It's late as I said, so yeah, just don't blame me here. My friends being over are also the main reason to why I've not been posting on time, and every single video has been late. All the recent videos that I've posted have all been late and not on time, and it's just because I want to hang out with these guys because I just haven't seen them in so long. As I said, I was willing to not post for a few days just to hang out with these guys. You guys could use it as a life lesson. I was there prioritizing my friendships and relationships. Sometimes life isn't all about Minecraft and yapping. Sometimes you just gotta hang out with your friends. Also, the fact that they spend a lot of money and just a lot of time to even come here in the first place is definitely a big reason to why I was ready to miss a few days. I don't want to just sit in my room and make videos for 3 hours a day, or they just sit outside by themselves, you know, like that's stupid. But luckily for me, my friend that's been here for a few days just loves napping, so that's when I've been recording and editing. I've been recording during his nap sessions and I was editing at night once he slept. He sleeps really early, so it was quite good for me. But because the second friend is here and he's only here for one night, you know, we stayed up till late just catching up and stuff. That's why it's fucking 1 a.m. while I'm recording this, and I'm slowly losing my mind, but I hope it's worth it. Once those guys leave, and you know, I don't want them to leave, it makes it sound like I want them to leave. I don't. I'll start getting back into things and I'll start posting at the time that I say I will. But yeah, at least I didn't miss a day, right? I guess that is a positive. So where even was I with all this? I just went on a little tangent. Oh yeah, so we were in an Uber on the way back from the train station. We got to the Uber, the driver started driving, and we were just catching up, you know, just having conversations, just talking. I pretty much just said having conversations in 5 different ways, but yeah, we was just talking and catching up. Why did I just do it again? We were all sitting in our designated seats in the Uber while having a very civilized conversation. And then out of nowhere, maybe 5 minutes into the journey, the Uber driver got a call and he just said he had to pick it up. Well, he didn't exactly say that, he just said sorry and he just picked it up, which is obviously completely fine. We're in his car, he can do whatever he wants. Well, not everything he wants, you know, if it's inappropriate, I would not recommend that, but picking up a phone call is not too deep. The phone call was from his friend and the conversation pretty much lasted about 2 minutes. At the end of the call, he told his friend that he has clients in the car, so he would call him later. Once he ended the car was just silent. None of us knew how to break the silence. We all were just sitting there because Big Bro just got in like a heated argument with his friend. Well, not that heated, but you could tell he's a bit annoyed. The conversation between them was pretty much about how our driver went to his house because they agreed to go to the gym that day. Well, today, not that day, because that literally happened today. Or technically yesterday, because it is 1 a.m, but I'm not gonna be one of those annoying brats. It's not tomorrow until you wake up. It doesn't matter if the clock goes past midnight. You know when it hits 1 a.m and someone goes like, oh, I can't believe I have to do this today. Nah, shut up, bro. You have to do that tomorrow, not today. You're technically right, but no one likes you, okay? So don't be saying that. I'm going on some crazy side missions right now. I'm just swerving the main topic. Oh, that is lovely. I do love myself some diamonds. I will take that. So pretty much what ended up happening was our Uber driver was outside his friend's house for a while and he called him 3 different times. But his friend just never picked up even though they agreed on meeting at his house. And because our driver is an Uber driver, he was telling us how instead of wasting his time at his friend's house, he could have got another Uber ride, which obviously would make him more money, which is completely valid by him. I completely understood why he was annoyed because I would also be annoyed if I was waiting at my friend's house for super long and he just wasn't picking up. His friend's excuse was that he was in the toilet, which is weird because doesn't everyone just take their phones in the toilet? I guess there are people out there that aren't addicted to their phones. I have to be scrolling through TikTok or Instagram when I'm taking a shit, but I'm sure there's people out there just staring at the wall while taking a shit. I'll be honest, I could never do that with respect. I'm trying to get like you, bro. The funny thing is though, they weren't arguing about his friend not picking up. They were arguing about how many times he called him. Our driver told his friend that he called him 3 times while his friend said, nah, you only called me 2 times. And they were just going back and forth on that. Like, why does it matter how many times he called him? He called you and that's all that matters. It even got to the point where after the call, I was just staring out the window because it was really awkward in the car. car. It was just a weird environment because he was getting a bit heated with his friend and we didn't know how to break the silence, as I said. I also was sitting shotgun, so I was sitting right next to him. And trust me, I definitely was not trying to make eye contact with that guy. I was staring out the window as long as possible until I had a feeling that he was staring at me. So I just did like a little cheeky look to see if he was looking at me, and bro was staring right into my eyes while driving the car. I made that sound way more dramatic than it was. We were at a red light, but he was just staring at me. I looked back and I didn't really say anything, and he wasn't saying anything either, but he was pointing at his phone. He was pretty much telling me to look at his phone, so I did. He then proceeded to ask me what number he was pointing at, and it was 3. So I went, yeah, that says 3. This 3 represented the amount of times he called him. He was showing me his phone history. So instead of just taking a screenshot and sending that to his friend to prove his point, so he was just complaining to us and just telling us how he was right in that situation. We were just like, oh yeah, bro, yeah, you're right, man. It was genuinely so awkward. We had no idea what to say. And the guy was just going on, and we just kept going like, oh yeah, bro, yeah, that sucks, man. Oh yeah, shit, man. And I think he started realizing that we were just not interested, but we were kind of interested. Like, we thought it was funny. But again, as I said, we just weren't saying anything, so he decided to play some music. And I'll be honest, I don't remember what song it was, but it was a fire song, so W choice. He also just started humming to the song, which was just kind of funny because just a few minutes ago, he was so mad. After a few minutes of these shenanigans, I decided to break the silence with me and my friends, and I asked him something. Then that led to us just talking about the future or just something like that, and the driver butted in again and just started talking about some random thing. He was talking about the future, obviously, and he was just trying to give us advice, but at the same time, he just like kind of butted into our conversation, which is completely fine, obviously. But again, it was just pretty funny. We were always kind of side-eyeing each other without doing it. That's just what it felt like. We all knew that we were just trying not to laugh. And it's not because of the driver. He wasn't like saying anything wrong or anything. It was just really funny because it just came out of nowhere. And then we eventually got to my house, and he stopped the car right next to another car, so it was really hard to get out. I just opened the car door slightly and I just slithered out. To me, it looked like an absolute smooth operation, I can't lie, but he did not think that. I don't know why he said this, but he pretty much said, you gotta start hitting the gym, pretty much calling me fat, which is crazy because I was gonna tip him 50 pounds, but you know what? He said that and I decided, nah, fuck you, bro. Fuck your tip and fuck you, bro. Your friend was right. Your friend was just taking a shit and you were just complaining about it. Nah, I'm completely joking. I am on the driver's side and I did not take any offense at all. It was just like a really weird comment. It honestly just came out of the blue. It was so random. I just awkwardly laughed and I was like, yeah, ha 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 ha, yeah, ha ha. But yeah, I did actually find it super funny because we all were laughing once we left the car. It was just super unhinged of him. He just called me fat out of nowhere. He's not wrong. I have gained a bit of weight, but telling me I have to hit the gym just because I slightly struggled to leave the car is a bit crazy. Also, I realized hearing that conversation probably just doesn't sound that fun, but trust me, it was really fun. I live for that shit, man. I love those awkward moments when I'm with my friends. And technically, it wasn't even much of a conversation because we weren't really saying anything, but it was a super funny thing. Also, this is super random, but there was one thing I forgot to say in the intro, so I'll just say it now. I mentioned in the intro that me talking to strangers only happens when I'm with my friends, but I forgot to mention one huge benefit of that. I love the fact that I'm out of my comfort zone and I'm actually talking to strangers because I usually would never do that. But I also love that I'm not like the primary person that has to talk. I can just sit back and listen. I can also just throw a couple jokes in here and there, and it doesn't matter if it doesn't land or not because it's a huge group of people. When I say that, it obviously hurts more when a joke doesn't land when you're with a huge group. But I meant because it's a huge group, people will just forget like immediately. And also, I'm just a super funny guy, so every joke that comes out of my mouth is always funny and people always laugh. You better be laughing right now, by the way. Even though I didn't say a joke, just laugh right now. It's a command. I'm hoping you guys actually laughed instead of just like staring at the camera with the straightest face. I'll be honest, if I was watching a YouTube video and a YouTuber told me to laugh, I definitely wouldn't, so I don't expect you guys to actually laugh. I also had such a sick segue lined up to my next topic, but I've completely fucked that. It is what it is. I was just gonna share another Uber story. So there was this time where a few friends and I were in an Uber and we were just talking to the Uber driver immediately. Again, I obviously did not start the conversation, don't you worry. Instead, one of my super extroverted friends actually started this conversation. I have no idea what we were talking about, but I remember we were laughing a little bit, but it turned weird real quick. Out of nowhere, this Uber driver just started talking about this happy ending place that he went to. Also, if you don't know what that is, just don't search it. I don't recommend that at all. But pretty much it's a real weird thing to talk about, especially when you're talking to strangers. If that's your thing, keep it to yourself or tell your friends about that, not people that you just met. But obviously, we were not complaining at the time. We just found it super funny that this guy was sharing so much. We also were acting like we were super interested and we were pretty much asking for the location, the exact postcode to be exact. Bro, holy shit, I just got you out of this boat not to fucking get in the next one. Holy shit, man. This guy's trying to end up like his brother. Don't make me kill you, my friend. It even got to the point where the guy actually gave us the postcode to where he got the happy ending. He also was telling us the prices and everything, and he was giving us a review and shit. It was just super funny. We were obviously not interested. Well, I can't speak for my friends. I wasn't interested. I don't know about them. Now I think about it, I always thought they were just putting up an act to entertain the Uber driver, but maybe they were just being serious. Maybe they were questioning him. Maybe they were questioning him to find out about all that information. I'm definitely joking, joking, by the way. I know they wouldn't do such a thing. Well, again, I'm actually not too sure, but yeah. I don't even think this car ride was that long. I think it was like 8 minutes max. But in those 8 minutes, we learned a lot of things. So these conversations can even be educational. You can learn some amazing and useful things while talking to strangers. Another Uber ride that comes to mind, well, this isn't an Uber ride technically. It's back in Thailand, which is another app, but it's the same thing. Oh, you fucking stupid cow. You stupid fucking cow, bro. Please come up. Oh, okay. Oh, what the fuck? You just... I didn't know I could do that. Okay. This time I was also with the same group of people, but there was also this one other guy that was there. In fact, 2 of those people are in my house right now. This time I think we were going to the club, so we might have been a bit under the influence. I cannot believe I've actually got these cows into this hole. Thank fucking God, bro. I'm gonna make this into like an actual nice farm in a little bit, but at least I've done step 1. As I was saying, our Uber driver was kind of goofy and he was just like saying jokes and stuff. The thing is, I'm not trying to be mean here, but the jokes just were not funny. I know humor is a subjective thing and people find different things funny, but this just wasn't funny. I don't think anyone would find this funny. That sounds super mean, and if you're somehow watching this video, I'm sorry, bro, but I'm just spitting right now. Sometimes you just have to hear the truth, man. I'm sorry. Well, anyways, obviously someone was sitting in shotgun, and this friend was the one that was really winding up this Uber driver. Well, not really. The Uber driver had no idea what was going on, but pretty much. My friend was fake laughing at everything he was saying, so he would like laugh for about 3 seconds, then he would just pull a straight face. But because our Uber driver was good at his job, he might have not been funny, but he was definitely good at his job. He was keeping his eyes on the road the whole time, so he could never tell when my friend would stop laughing. And I know that sounds stupid because you don't have to look at a person to know when they stop laughing because it's a sound thing. I just more meant that he would pull a straight face and the Uber driver just could not see that face. I felt so bad every time he did it because the Uber driver thought he was so funny and he thought he was cracking up the whole car. He thought every single joke was landing because we were laughing at every single one, which I guess is fine because he never found out the truth. So till this day, he probably thinks he is a really funny guy, and you know what? That's fine. I'm being way too mean to this Uber driver. You guys have to know that I'm joking. Like, obviously someone finds him funny. We just didn't. But yeah, that Uber ride was hilarious because my friend was doing that the whole time. My friend was also just matching the driver's energy. Like, the driver was super energetic and my friend was just saying everything super energetically, which just made it a lot funnier because the driver definitely thought he found someone on his wavelength. It had to be super rare that customers would be as energetic as my friend was. So yeah, it was just super funny. I could probably go into so many different Uber conversations I've had in my life, and that would be like a whole 10-hour video, so I'm not gonna do all that. But on the same topic of Ubers, this is not a conversation and this does not relate to the video at all, but I just thought it'd be funny to share. We were in a tuk-tuk, which is just another mode of transport in Thailand, and these drivers are known to just be a little bit out there. I'm gonna try to think of a way to say this. Let's just say they're risk takers. This story also took place like years ago, like potentially like 2018 or something, so like 6 years ago, which is also crazy to say. 2018 was 6 years ago. What the fuck? My last video was all about me being old and shit, so I'm not gonna go over that again. So as I was saying, we were in this tuk-tuk and we were just going somewhere. Well, obviously, what else do you do in a fucking mode of transport? I don't even know what I was trying to say, that we obviously were going somewhere. But in the middle of the journey, out of nowhere, our tuk-tuk driver just started doing wheelies. A tuk-tuk is a 3-wheeler and it definitely isn't made to do wheelies, but this guy was just in the middle of the road, middle of the traffic, just doing wheelies. We were actually scared for our lives because we just thought our driver was drunk or on drugs or something, because that's not a normal thing to do. However, it was really fun though. We also had like loud music blasting in this tuk-tuk. It was a good time, but I was scared for my life. We also just ended up breaking the seat because the driver was being stupid and we somehow like all launched into the air. I think he just drove over a speed bump in like a very stupid way, so we all jumped into the air, and when we landed we just broke the seat. And I know that the previous Uber driver called me fat, but this was not my fault. Back then I was not fat at all. So before any of you smarty pants decide to comment that, shut the fuck up, bruv. Keep that to yourself. We got lucky though because the driver never found out that we broke his seat, but yeah, it was a crazy experience. Also in the comments, please tell me what else to do in this world. I realized recently I've just been mining or fishing and I don't know what else to do. I obviously have some builds in mind that I want to do, but I just can't get myself to start. But yeah, I'll do it eventually, but also comment anything if you do have anything in mind. Okay, so that's enough with all the Uber talk. I'm gonna move on to times where I've been drunk and I've been talking to strangers. In fact, the first story took place 2 months ago, which was actually the last time I drank and was actually my birthday. 2 of my friends came over to celebrate my birthday and we decided to go to the club that night. This club was a club that none of us had been to, but we were feeling feisty that night. We thought we were gonna change it up and we're just gonna go try something new. So we entered the club and I was completely sober because we only had beers that night. For some reason, beers just don't do it for me. I just never really get drunk off beers. And the fact that the music was so shit was not helpful at all. None of us enjoyed the songs. Well, one didn't mind it, but me and the other friend hated every single song. It wasn't even the fact that we just didn't know the songs. Every song just didn't even sound good. Well, it obviously sounded good to other people because the rest of the club were having the time of their lives, but for us, we were not enjoying it as much. So for the majority of the time, we were just at the smoking area, and the good thing was, at this club, the smoking area was massive. It genuinely was bigger than the club itself, so it's actually kind of crazy. Also, before you get the wrong idea, I don't smoke anything and I've never smoked anything in my life. But the smoking area is just a great place to talk to strangers. You obviously can't really talk to them in the club because of the loud music. And my friends, well, especially one friend that was there that night, loves talking to strangers, so we were just there. I don't even know how, but we just ended up in this situation where we were sitting at this table and there was 3 girls and 3 of us, and we were just completely lying to them. We just made up like a whole backstory of some random shit. I even made a whole video of how lying is so fun, which you could go watch if that sounds interesting to you. But yeah, pretty much we somehow convinced these girls that we were all part of the same family and that we were brothers, even though we don't look alike at all. And they just found it like really cute. They found it so wholesome that all the brothers are out together, which was just funny. But the thing is, they could also just be trolling us and they could have just been playing along with us. But once you're drunk and you actually feel like you convinced someone, it doesn't matter if they were playing along or not. It's such a victory royale moment. I don't know why I said, I don't know why the fuck I said that, bro. I regretted it immediately. However, the entirety of this conversation was definitely not fun. I remember one of the girls was just yapping away for like 10 minutes. Well, it probably wasn't 10 minutes. In reality, it was like 2 minutes. But the thing is, whatever she was talking about was super boring, and I cannot tell you what she was talking about because I was not listening for a second. That shit was so boring. I think she was just talking about like her like art classes or something. I really don't know. But as boring as this moment was, it was actually quite funny at the same time, because the friend that was sitting right next to me, we were just side-eyeing each other the whole time, which always led us to just like chuckling a little bit to ourselves, but we obviously did not just like burst out laughing. But yeah, I've just had like so many moments like that in my life, and every single time is usually really funny. Also, if you watched the video that was titled "Talking to Women is Scary," you might be wondering how I ended up in the situation where I was talking to women. I'm only scared of them when it's a one-on-one, because everything I say actually matters then. When I'm in a group, it really doesn't matter, so I don't really overthink anything, and I don't find women scary in those situations. But when it's a one-on-one, don't even get me started. That shit is scary as hell. There's also this one time at a club where me and a friend were just arguing with this one stranger for over half an hour. I remember exactly what we were arguing about, but it's a bit too inappropriate for YouTube, so I won't go into the details. Well, anyways, on that night out, it was me and the friend that were arguing with the stranger, and there was also another friend that was with us that night. The argument started in the club, but eventually we just walked away from him. But when we left the club, we just bumped into him again on the street. We just started the argument again immediately, and this argument was so stupid. First of all, it was not necessary at all. Second of all, it was over the stupidest thing. Also, I just completely forgot to mention, me and my friend weren't actually being serious, but this guy was being super serious. We were just arguing with him for the fun of it, and because the club was super dead that night, we were just like, why not? It's just a funny way to entertain ourselves that night. But the thing was, the argument started off as a joke, but outside it actually got a little bit serious. Well, not from me, I did not care at all, you know, I thought we were still joking, but my friend actually started getting a bit heated. And when I realized that the argument was getting heated, I started backing my friend, obviously, because why the fuck would I back the other guy? I started getting a little bit serious too, and I was just backing my boy. But the third friend that was out with us that night just ended up shaking hands with the other guy and just started like apologizing, which got me and my other friend so annoyed, because why are you doing that? I know he was just trying to be the bigger man and just end the argument, but I was having the time of my life. We just started calling him an op for like the next 2 hours. Cause don't get me wrong, you know, he's one of my best friends, but that guy was an op that night. You're telling me instead of just backing your friends, you just go to the enemy and you just shake his hands. At first I thought he was like a strategic genius, you know, I thought he was getting into his head. Bro was just apologizing and he felt really bad. He probably was gonna give him head if that's what that guy wanted. Okay, I should not say that, that's just weird. I realized I've started to become really weird in these videos. I don't know why I say such things. The fact that it's 1 AM probably does not help, but yeah. I was trying to think of a great way to wrap up that story, but honestly that's pretty much what ended up happening. Like nothing really interesting happened. Our friend just sided with the enemy and we called him an op, and that's that. The next day we woke up and we forgot all about that shit. Well, evidently not, because I still remember the story and I'm sharing it right now, but you get my point. But yeah, I think that's where I'm gonna end it. I could definitely share a lot more stories, but I think I've shared enough. It's also now 2 AM, so I've been recording for over an hour and I seriously need to get this edited tonight, so I'm just gonna go do that. If you guys ended up enjoying this video, please do leave a like and subscribe, and if you're still watching till now, you're definitely enjoying it, so you might as well click on the video that just popped up. Or don't, it's obviously up to you. Thank you guys for watching and have a great night. Peace.